All right, so this is going to be a review of Evil Dead Rise. It came out earlier this year. I didn't get the chance to see it, so I'm reviewing it now. I really like the original Evil Dead movie, and I love the second one. I think pretty much everybody loves that second one. And I didn't see, I guess there was a newer one like some years ago. I didn't see that one, so I can't say anything about that one. But I really like those other two. But this one is written and directed by Lee Cronin. He's done some other horror movies. I haven't seen those. I can't speak to those. But I'll see how I feel about this one in a second. So Beth, played by Lily Sullivan, finds out something unexpected and not that great. So she goes to visit her sister to talk to her about it. But her and her sister haven't really been talking and things. Her sister's husband left her and her kids. And Beth didn't even know about it because she hasn't been answering her calls and things like that. So there's a little bit of tension between them. Ellie is the sister, played by Alyssa Sutherland. And her kids go out to get pizza. They come back. They're in this really shitty apartment complex that's going to be torn down pretty soon, and they have to move. The apartment complex starts shaking, and then there's a hole in the ground and underneath. And one of the kids goes down there and finds the Book of the Dead, brings it back up, reads it, and its power is unleashed pretty much. And the mother, Ellie, gets possessed. And then pretty much at that point, it is utter insanity from then on. So I loved this movie, right? It is unsettling, it's creepy, it's legitimately scary, it's like traumatic. It was at points where I thought I couldn't finish it at points because it was just so crazy. I mean, at a certain point, it just goes and just gets worse and worse. The cinematography is well done, and the score also really builds the scene and builds the tension. Even when nothing is going on, you always feel like, oh, something is definitely about to happen. The performances are all great. Other than the youngest girl, like the youngest daughter, she wasn't that great, but for child acting, she was still okay. But the movie lets you see the family and see the family dynamic and the mother's relationship with her kids, and you get to know them, and they feel so natural because of the performances and the way they're written, and that just makes it even more unsettling and like traumatic to see what happens to them later on with their mother like attacking her own kids and things like that. It's great. um, the movie starts off where it's like telling you right off the bat, like this is gonna be a lot because I think like 5 minutes in, I think it's around 5 minutes in, it's right at the beginning, you see a girl get grabbed by her hair and her hair yanked off her scalp. Like it is a lot, and then somebody gets beheaded. Like shit. I mean, right from the beginning, like usually there's a little bit more setup, but no. Then they get this to the setup of the family afterward. Like they want to want to let you know right off the bat that this is what it's like. That there's a point where the mom bites someone's eye out of the socket and then hawks it up almost like it's a loogie into somebody else's mouth. I mean, it's just sick. It's gross. Throwing up just randomly, throwing up these little black bugs, throwing up blood, stabbing, set on fire. I mean, it is crazy. It's crazy. Like it's like endless after a certain point, right? Like once the mom gets into that hallway and just the carnage that she does in the hallway with the neighbors is it's just it's a lot. It really is, especially by the end. By the end, these characters are drenched in blood. There is so much blood. I mean, it is like worst nightmare level shit. Negatives, because I still have a few. And they're not even that big, because I thought this movie was great. The effects at certain points, well, mostly the effects are great, but there's certain points where I was like, that could look a little bit better. Like at the beginning with the guy got beheaded or whatever, his head gets thrown up on the dock. I was thinking to myself, that could look a little bit better. So, there's certain points where it's like, And then there's one scene in particular, right? Because there's stupidity in horror movies, a certain level of stupidity that you expect, right? Where characters go in places they probably shouldn't, or whatever, right? They do things that they shouldn't do in those situations, and up to a certain level, it's fine and almost expected for the horror to happen. But there's a point with young girl, and she's supposed to be a really a young girl, right? So she's supposed to be kind of gullible and things like that. But they can make it a little bit more believable because there's a scene where the mom is out in the hallway and she starts singing, and she has a good singing voice, by the way. And so the daughter walks up to the door and looks out the peephole. She climbs up something or whatever, looks out the peephole, and the mom starts talking to her, like turns around, starts talking to her, trying to convince her to unlock the door. And she's not normal when she does this. Like, she doesn't look normal or whatever, so that it kind of makes it more believable. She still looks freakish. Like, she has that smile. Well, this actress, Alyssa Southern, is great. Like, extremely creepy. The way she moves, the way she walks. I mean, it's top notch. But looking at that with this creepy smile and those eyes and blood all over her mouth, blood all in the hallway, I feel like the daughter would still be creeped out by her to the point where she wouldn't unlock the door. Like, but of course she does, and then gets grabbed. And I was like, okay, well, you can make that a little bit more believable because you're making her seem dumb. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's most of what I wrote down in my notes. It's well shot, great score, great performances. I like the characters to the point where I actually did feel bad for them that they were going through this, and I wanted them to survive somehow. The gore, the violence, the endless like buckets of blood. It is incredible. Like, it's easily one of the best movies I've seen this year, just easily. So I'm gonna give this a beyond awesome. I'm gonna give it my highest rating, and it really left an impression on me. I saw the trailer, I thought, hey, this looks good. I didn't think it was gonna be this good. I mean, anyway, that is Evil Dead Rise. Subscribe. We're done.